commemoration of Democracy Day 2025, the Coalition for the Protection of Democracy, COPDEM, convened the new Nigerian National Youth Summit with the theme Attracting Investment, Pulling Nigeria Out of Poverty and Transforming into Global Economic Power. In his welcome address, the national chairman of COPDEM and the chief host of the new Nigerian National Youth Summit, Prince Rwang Pam Jr said, the choice of June 12 is deliberate and symbolic. The date marks the freest and fairest election in Nigeria history, a mandate that was unjustly annulled by military dictatorship. As he noted, 31 years later, we find ourselves under a new kind of threat, in democracy in name, but not in spirit.
Now, today, 31 years later, we find ourselves under a new kind of threat. A democracy in name, but not in spirit. A painful paradox is playing out before us today. One of the key actors in that historic democratic struggle now sits atop a government under which Nigeria remains the poverty capital of the world. It is now the worst place for a woman to give birth to globally. Our nation has become the joke of the decade and the laughing stock of African democracy. This has to change.
Pam added that this summit is a response to the national emergency. Over 70% of our population is under 35, but instead of being Nigerian greatest asset, they are treated as liabilities, unemployed, underemployed, and sidelined.
Imagine a new Nigeria where the youth are producers and not just prime political puppets, where they sit at the table of policy making and policy formulation for the country, not on the fringe of broken promises made on podiums of political rallies and manifestos that don't actually manifest when power is given, like what we see. It's a pity. This is not a dream. This is our goal, and it begins now. A hungry youth will ask leadership for money, for food, for transportation, for rent, other necessities. But a youth who is economically empowered will ask the right questions and will demand for the right answers. Let's start making this possible today.
Keynote speaker at the summit, His Excellency Peter Obi, presidential aspirant of the Labour Party, said it is time Nigeria move above religious and tribal sentiment and vote for a leader who will deliver dividends of democracy.
Whenever I go to place and they say that I should lecture, I tell them the job of those of us who want to serve is not to lecture but to listen. A leader must be a listener. He must be a learner, because it is the people that you are listening to. So for me, it is important that we listen to. It's important that you ask those difficult questions and everything. And in your organization, as you go towards the next election, there's need for proper scrutinization and verification of those we are trying to vote for. That is where our problem is. When people come and talk to us, when people come and share us money, when people come and do the wrong thing, none of us is asking, who is this person? What is this person going to offer? What is his background? Like I've said before, we voted tribe, we voted religion, now let's vote competence. Democrats have a simple definition. Government of the people, by the people, and for the people. None of these components is in Nigeria today. Democracy have a simple environment that works. It works within the rules, regulations, which shows that people to be voted for have some qualification. But here, people who are supposed to be disqualified, who are not competent to be, are the people in office. You can go on and on to show that it's not democratic. What still now, we now have government of lies and propaganda.
Representative of Acting National Chairman of Labour Party, Nenadi Usman, Ken Asogwa, urges all stakeholders, government, private sector, diaspora, civil society, and most importantly, the youth, to embrace the sacred duty. Nigeria's destiny will not be written by others, it will be written by us. The new Nigeria we seek is possible, and it begins with the courage to demand and build a democracy that works, an economy that delivers, and a nation that honors the sacrifice of June 12, not in word, but in action.
As we reflect on June 12, let us not allow its memory to be reduced to a mere ceremony. Let us make it a living call to action for free and fair elections, for transparent leadership, for policies that lift our people from poverty and create shared prosperity. In closing, I urge all stakeholders here, governments, private sector, diaspora, civil society, and most importantly, you, the youth, to embrace this sacred duty. Nigeria's destiny will not be written by others, it will be written by us. The new Nigeria we seek is possible, and it begins with the courage to demand and to build a democracy that works, an economy that delivers, a nation that honors the sacrifices of June 12, not in words alone, but in action. So democracy is not just a name and word for him, it's a living symbol of who we are as a people. That millions have suffered from 1914, since the birth of Nigeria, through the colonial struggle to independence, and then through that 80s and 90s, when the military held sway. And groups like COPDEM, then NADECO, and so on and so forth, did their bit. In this historic moment, he believes it is now the turn of COPDEM to ensure the strengthening, the deepening, and consolidation of liberal democracy in Nigeria, that in 2027 we may have a return to true democratic principles and practice.
Concerned for the faces that I'm looking at. The reason is that I think you have been cheated. You have been cheated out of the future that they claim is yours. Whether it is today or whether it is tomorrow, you've been cheated out of that power to be a youth. But also, being someone who is known for speaking truth to power and to youth, I will also say to you that you've been very much part of that cheating to yourselves, because you have cooperated with the people that have cheated you. If you have not cooperated, and that's where that message, it's time for action right now. This is your time for action. When I look at you now, I have hope for Africa.